Welcome. Today I will be paraphrasing, summarizing, and sharing for the December 12th Al-Anon readings, Encouraged to Change, and a little time for myself. We'll begin with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Begin with a little time for myself. Take a moment to look this over. The question of the day is, when I am feeling preoccupied, what can I do to re-anchor myself in the here and now? The passage talks about this person feels like they have an endless list of things to do. They can get so caught up in their to-do list that they miss what's going on right in front of them. And that can interfere with their level of serenity. So what helps them in these times is the slogan, one day at a time. And then they talk about when they have an opportunity to be present with someone else and that person is present with them, it's an enormous gift. And a lot of times it's much more beneficial than crossing things off their to-do list. Today's reminder is reminding us that we only have this day to work with. And having our priorities straight can make a great impact. The quote is from Hope for Today. And it's talking about that the only place to be is in the present moment. So when I'm feeling preoccupied, what can I do to re-anchor myself in the here and now? So there's grounding, putting my feet on the ground, and breathing deep, kind of like a meditation. There's this involves breathing deep too, slow, deep breaths and looking around and really getting into what is around me. Like, what does the light look like? What does the air feel like? What sounds am I hearing? Like, really bringing it down to the most basic level so that I realize that my mind is in the same place as my body. Doing readings helps, journaling helps. Sometimes listening to relaxing music helps. Going to a meeting always helps. Talking to an Al-Anon friend always helps. Or a trusted friend, someone who you know is on your side. Excuse me. So how about you? When you are feeling preoccupied, what can you do to re-anchor yourself in the here and now? Moving on to Courage to Change. We're getting towards the end of the book. But as we know, we just start over at the beginning. But it's funny when the book is like this. I'm going to take a moment to look it over. This page is about seeing things as they are, and the person who wrote this passage is an Alateen member, and they describe how it was difficult for themselves when it was difficult for them when they had to meet with Al-Anon members because they assumed that they would be the same as their alcoholic parents. They kind of put all adults into the same basket. But then they realized that they were missing out on what was really happening, which is that uh, there were adults who could help them heal, and they learned that they could trust these adults and that it made their world feel safer. They even learned that, this is funny, it says that they began to see that adults were human. So that's some pretty deep trauma there. But they got to the amazing, such amazing growth occurred that they were able to see that their parents were doing the best they could. That's amazing. That's amazing. Today's reminder that Al-Anon helps us to see things as they really are. And we have no control over other people. So with Al-Anon's help, we can love people for who they are. And the quote is from Kenneth S. Davis. And it's talking about how risky life really is. But that how we just have to live our life because we don't want to shut down our life and damper it. So we just have to live it, even though it's risky. Just like this person took a chance and trusted adults. It's a great reading. I don't have a lot of experience with Alateen members, but I can definitely understand about generalizing like an experience that I had with one person and generalizing it to uh, like the whole group of people. Like, this is not a great example, but say like I had a negative experience at a mechanic, then I might think that all mechanics are the way that I experience. That's not a good example, but you know what I mean? Like, it could go to anything, like a dentist. Maybe you had a bad experience at a dentist and then you don't trust dentists anymore when uh, if you kept yourself open, you might realize that that's not true. So anyway, I I wrapped. So I love wrapping presents, but I don't buy the kind of presents that can be wrapped. I know that sounds weird, but like that's the truth. For example, I buy like AAA memberships for my son and the mom of my grandchildren, and I buy the kids like clothes and things like that. And I just give it to them. So I ask my friends if they'll let me wrap their presents for them because I love to wrap presents. And one of my friends took me up on it, and I was at her house for 4 hours today. I wrapped about 30 presents, and I had so much fun. I was sitting on the floor for 4 hours listening to Christmas music with my shoes off. Just, it was great. But after I stood up after 4 hours, uh, I realized that I probably should have gotten up at some point in between the 4 hours. But I had so much fun. So, little tangent, but it was such a fun day. We'll close out with a serenity prayer and 3 mindful breaths. Here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Sending you love. Take care.